The Plague Knight. He uses bombs in his new adventure and they look pretty cool. And guess what? Some of these bombs have been used in real life wars. Plague Knight is one of the 8 Knights of the Order of No Quarter, who serves the Enchantress. He's the boss of the Explodatorium, which is a level in the main Shovel Knight game, themed all around the Plague Knight. But now with the new expansion Plague of Shadows at our doorstep, he turns from a boss into a playable character. This brings a whole new version of Plague Knight with his own special weapons, moves and abilities, and also a whole new story. During his own story, it is revealed that Plague Knight has ulterior motives for joining the Enchantress. He is seeking the creation of an ultimate potion, a brew that will grant him unlimited power and anything he wants. Mona the Alchemist and several other characters are revealed to be secret allies of Plague Knight, practicing alchemy, which is frowned upon by citizens of the land. Plague Knight is forbidden from entering the village, but he has his own underground secret lair below it called the Potionarium. It is revealed that Mona's occupation in town is just to cover the entrance of the Potionarium, which can only be accessed through her room. There, Plague Knight, Mona and other characters including the Magicist secretly practice alchemy and work together to concoct the ultimate potion, which can only be extracted by defeating the other members of the Order of No Quarter, along with the Enchantress and Shovel Knight. The story is retold, this time from Plague Knight's point of view, revealing that the two stories are taking place at the same time. For example, when entering the Potionarium for the first time, you can see Shovel Knight walking above. During your adventure of gathering all the essences, you gain certain power-ups and new abilities. For example, black powder bombs and bait bombs. But would you believe me if I told you that almost all these bombs are possible in real life and have been used in some wars? Like the Second World War or the American Civil War. No? Well, I will explain. First up, where do bombs come from and how do they work? Explosive bombs were first used in China in the beginning of the 12th century. The bombs were made of bamboo tubes and later in the 13th century they used iron. The most deadly part of a bomb is the fragmentation, which is hurled at supersonic and hypersonic speeds towards you and can fly up to 1 mile before hitting the ground. But the bomb hurls fragmentation everywhere, also towards Plague Knight. And that would probably kill him or injure him. But we will leave this out of the picture, it's a video game after all. The second thing that kills is pressure. All the energy of the explosion flies towards you and hits you hard, I can tell you that. It can even send you flying through the air, cause internal bleeding, rupture your eardrums and even losing body parts like arms and legs. The third big killer is heat. And yes, it can leave some very nasty wounds. But how does a bomb work? Well, you put gunpowder for example in a barrel, put a fuse in the barrel, seal the barrel and light the fuse and you're done. The barrel explodes because gunpowder creates a lot of energy and pressure in the form of gas when you light it up. That pressure cannot get out of the barrel quick enough, so the barrel will just break under the enormous pressure of the gas. But let's take a look at Plague Knight's bombs, because he has some interesting ones which have been used throughout history. The bait bomb. This bomb looks like a fish and charges towards you and explodes at contact and can be used for fishing. This weapon is also something that was used in the Second World War by Russia. The anti-tank dogs. These dogs were taught to carry explosives to tanks, armored vehicles and/or other military targets. They were intensively trained by the Soviet and Russian military forces between 1930 and 1969, and used in 1941 and 1942 against the German tanks. Although the original dog training routine was to leave the bomb and retreat so that the bomb would be detonated by the timer. But this routine failed and was replaced by an impact detonation, which killed the dog in the process. This was a terrible way of getting the job done, and Russia was not the only country who used these methods. America also trained dogs in the Second World War, but they were never used. So using animals with explosions to blow certain stuff up is nothing new to our world and also the one of Plague Knight. Black powder is a very explosive powder, which mankind has used for centuries for things like bombs, cannons and guns. Gunpowder was invented in China when Taoists attempted to create a potion of immortality. Plague Knight uses it to create stronger bombs, and since this stuff was used to send cast iron balls with a weight of 42 pounds flying across a battlefield, he certainly chose the right stuff. The next thing Plague Knight uses, which started in the Second World War, is fire bombs. Plague Knight uses tracer powder and cascade powder to create fire bombs. One of the first times such a bomb was used in actual warfare was in the year 1939. On the 30th November of 1939, the Soviet Union, also known as Russia, tried to invade Finland, starting what became to know as the Winter War. The Finnish army faced a large number of tanks. Being short on anti-tank guns, they made improvised flame grenades to use against them. We all know these grenades. They are called Molotovs. The Finns perfected the design and tactical use of the petrol bomb. Target of choice was the rear deck of a tank. The burning contents of the bottle would pour through the large cooling grills and ignite fuel, hydraulic fluids and ammunition. Plague Knight also uses cluster powder to create cluster bombs. This rapidly forms several explosions, and this is also the most expensive upgrade in the game. A cluster munition, also known as a cluster bomb, is a weapon containing multiple explosive bombs like landmines. These bombs can remain a fatal threat to anyone in the area long after the conflict ends. Cluster bombs are dropped from aircrafts or fired from ground or sea, opening in mid-air, releasing tens or hundreds of smaller bomblets, which can saturate an area up to the size of several football fields. Anybody within the strike area of a cluster bomb is very likely to be killed or seriously injured. During the Vietnam War, the US used cluster bombs in airstrikes against targets in Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia. According to The Guardian, of the 260 million cluster bomblets that rained down on Laos between 1946 and 1973, 80 million failed to explode. These 80 million bomblets are now spread throughout Laos, injuring hundreds of civilians every year. Cluster bombs are now officially banned from use, so most countries don't even have them anymore. So it's certain that Plague Knight was inspired by the weapons used throughout history. Hey you there! Yes you! Do you want free prizes? Fantastic! Go to Dr.Wily's Twitter or Instagram to win great prizes in the upcoming weeks. For example, game key codes. If you fill these in on Steam, you will get the full game for free. Like this game. Ooh. Or this one. Ah. Or awesome t-shirts or posters of your favorite games like Zelda and Assassin's Creed. Step 1. Following me on Twitter or Instagram or both. Step 2. Retweeting or liking the giveaway posts. Thanks for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check my social media for the giveaway, and why not check another video?